Godox have just announced the AD100 Pro, an off-camera flash. It's just the size of like a can of drink. Today we're going to look at everything we know and kind of where it fits in the WISTRO lineup. Hello guys, my name is John Sparkman, a photographer in Birmingham in the UK. I've been using flashes for nearly as long as I've been in photography, about 10 years. And I used to have the Godox AD300. Looks like it's an on-camera flash, but it's not. It bends in half and needs an additional lithium power pack, which is bright orange. Brilliant flash. I think that back then it was struggling to find its place in the market. So I replaced it with a series of Yongnuo manually firing 560 series. Nice and cheap. I could have lots of them. I could put it on camera, off camera. They're dumb flashes, so they're not smart. They don't have the features. But I've always wanted the AD200, and even in the past few weeks I've been going on online messaging boards asking if people were trying to sell any for Christmas, trying to pick myself up a bargain. Whilst I was browsing the online forums, I found someone commenting saying that the new AD100 Pro has just been announced. Head over to the website, check it out, and yeah, in fact it is brand new. I can find a couple of websites selling them, and the price, let's just start with the price straight off. The price is going to be around £240, so it's quite an expensive one. Now let's start with the kind of the features that you get on the 100 Pro. Straight away you're going to find out that this flash has a modelling light. If you don't know what a modelling light is, that is the continuous light, kind of a bit like the one I have here, which is in the middle of studio flashes, and around it is the flash bulb. So you use a modelling light like a very low powered flash. You kind of aim it at your subject and you can see where the modifier is interacting. You know, you can see where the shadows and highlights are interacting and where the shadows are casting. And from that it really speeds up your positioning and your modifier selection. And then when you're firing your flash, the flash bulb, which is a second bulb inside, it will then fire at full power at the studio settings you're after. Now typically kind of hot shoe flashes like the Canon speed lights, they don't have this. You may have encountered in the past times where you have to kind of fire the flash and then you have to look at your camera to make sure that the quality, the color, the duration, the power, all this were correct, maybe make some adjustments and then go again. With modeling light you can save so much of that. So modeling light is the absolute key to the AD100 Pro. It also has high-speed sync, meaning that you can sync your flash with any camera firing up to an 8,000th of a second. So if you have a lot of ambient light, you can really reduce that using your high shutter speed. You'll still be able to get your flash firing. Traditional flashes, they kind of stop at the 1/200th-ish mark. One of my older cameras was 1/30th of a second. And if you shot anything above that using the flash, you get these kind of black bars in the image. I'm sure you've seen it before. So high speed sync is one of those more pro level features. It's got a rechargeable battery in it. It actually shares the same battery as the Godox V1. I'm going to touch on the similarities and comparisons between these flashes later. So the V1, same battery, very handy. It also shares the same magnetic attachments as the Godox V1. So it's got this kind of circular head, a Fresnel head, with a series of rings around it, and you can buy the Godox accessory pack, which will have things like a bowl to diffuse the light. It's got clip-on grids and it's got magnetic kind of gels that you can just stack on top of each other. You can also incorporate it with the previous triggers you've bought from Godox in the past, which is nice and handy. It is very small, so it weighs about 500 grams as well. It's got a 100 watt second flash duration, which is really quite nice. Looking to get about 360 or so full powered flashes out of this one battery. And of course, if you already have the batteries, or if you go online and pick one up, they're about £45. You get, 700 or so. Pretty decent. You can also modify it so it accepts things like the Bowens modifier adapter at the front, so then you can put things like softboxes on, and you can put snoots and umbrellas and all this business. So yeah, it's a brilliant flash, but I hear a lot of people already saying online at £240 or so, that is very close to the AD200, which is a couple of years older. And the AD200 is going to give you 200 watt seconds of flash instead of 100, so it's twice as powerful. All these flashes are roughly the same size as, you know, a large zoom lens. So they're all going to fit into your bag. They've all got high-speed sync on them. They've all got rechargeable batteries on them. The AD100 and the 200 are not in the same category. The 100 series has this modeling light, which I was going on about. And the modeling light is catered towards a different kind of user sometimes. Think of this as a kind of a slimmed down version of the AD300. Now the 300 has modeling lights, it has rechargeable batteries, it has high speed sync, and it's basically like you've just taken a studio light, like you would, you know, once you plug into the wall, cut the cord off it and just stuffed it in your bag. Think of this as a smaller version of the AD300, which retails in the £400 to £500 range, so you can get two of these for one of the 300s. Now the AD200, amazing as it is and roughly the same size as the AD100, does not have that modelling bulb. You can switch out the heads on the 200s, so you can have one which has a bulb which sticks out, which is good for studio use or kind of filling big soft boxes, because the light goes sideways as well as forwards. It's got the Fresnel head, so you can kind of focus it and go forwards like you would on a normal hot shoe flash. Or you can switch that out for this kind of grid of LEDs that just clip on the front. Not going to be very powerful compared to an actual flash firing, but the versatility is there. And if we're staying away from the similarities of the AD200 and 300, you then go into the V1 series. V1s being those angular, you know, the top moves on them, the angular on-camera flash guns. The V1 will be specific to user type, so there'll be one for a Fujifilm, one for a Canon, one for a Sony. The V1s are actually in the same kind of price range as the AD100s and 200s, and they do have their own uses. You can use them on camera, they have TTL, they have high-speed sync, they have that round Fresnel head that is identical, apparently, to the AD100, so you can clip on those magnetic grids and, you know, barn doors and gels and stuff. But this has the added ability that you can use it on camera. So some people like that. Myself, I'm an off-camera shooter, so I don't need the plate at the bottom to attach to the top of my camera. Everything I control is off-camera. And if you look at the line of the AD series, they are all off-camera flashes. They just increase in power and size throughout the range. Without any kind of real-world examples or any chance to play with it, it's hard to make a judgment call on this flash. But what I would say is that Godox are very reliable flashes. I've used them in the past to great success. They have kind of gone toe-to-toe with some of the bigger flash companies like Profoto, and I mean, these are £1,000 plus on-camera flashes. These are huge, really well made. And although you're going to be making some sacrifices, maybe in user design or build material quality, or maybe like the accuracy of the flash or the, you know, the repeat kind of cycle time, the AD series is designed for kind of working event photographers, someone who can't be tied down. And it's definitely not geared towards kind of the very entry level, consumer level photographers. You have to have a working knowledge of off-camera flash technology and knowledge and lighting ratios and modifiers. You've got to invest in a trigger system as well. If you're coming from my angle, my personal angle, I am a Yongnuo user, so my trigger is Yongnuo. I modify them with MagMod. And so for me, going to the AD100s, my mag mods would be relatively useless. If you've never seen them before, kind of a silicon band with magnets go around the front Fresnel lens of the Yongnuos, and then modifiers magnetically stick on there. They've incorporated this into their design, so I would do away with the MagMod system, and I mean that cost me £200 or £300 on its own, so it's a bit of an investment to switch. This is maybe a bit of a waste of equipment, although I may look at selling that in the future if I had to go that way. For me, the AD200 ticks a lot more boxes because I can use the MagMods on it, because I can modify the fronts and put the bulb attachment on the front. Now it's hard to say if I would go for the AD100 or the 200. It would be great to have a modelling light, especially at weddings, where you can really quickly slap on your favourite modifier and then just bring that flash in exactly where you need it and fire it. But if you've been working with flash for years and years and years, you can pre-visualize exactly how your flash output's going to look, and you can just by going simple diagrams like 45 degrees up and to the side, really predictable, safe lighting. You may actually not need that modeling light. Secondarily, with mirrorless cameras, you can really quickly fire off a shot and just review it quickly and then make the changes. But if you prefer the safety of the modeling light, absolutely I would be looking to go for these AD100s. No confirmed dates. Some rumours online have been saying around March for shipping in 2021. The prices yesterday were £185 each. Today they're £240 on the same website. If you're a user of the AD200s or the 300s and are thinking of getting the AD100 Pros, drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the features. Maybe I've missed one of the features when I was scouring the internet late last night. As always, if you like the content, stick around and subscribe. See you in a future video.